Hey guys, welcome to my Famicom review video, and it's going to double as a review for one of the games for it. Um, so yeah, that's the Famicom there. A lot of you probably, this is the Japanese version of the NES. A lot of you are probably wondering, why would you want a Japanese version of the NES? Well, aside from having an awesome piece of video game history in my collection, um, there are a lot of games that were released in Japan um, on the Famicom that we didn't get here in North America. So for me, I just want to play the Japan exclusives. And there are actually a lot of good games for it that we never got over here. A lot of times the games are um, they're carbon copies of each other. A lot of times they're very similar with a few subtle differences, and other times they're completely different ones of the same title. But it's an awesome system. It's basically an NES. So if you like the NES and you want to play games you've never played before, it might be something to consider getting into. There are a couple things you need to know though. But first, let me just go through a few things with the system here. Um, like I said, aside from it being an awesome system, there are a few downfalls here. Um, well, the first thing you notice, the two controllers on the side there. It's cool that they gave you a little slot to put them in. Kind of makes the system look like a spaceship to me when they're in there. Um, but one thing that they did do is they hardwired these into the back of the system. And on top of that, these controller cords are extremely short. They're 3 feet long here. But you got to remember, in Japan, their living quarters are a lot smaller than ours, and I think that's pretty much why. I still think it's stupid that they were hardwired into the system at all. And if you're going to do that, why go to the back instead of the front? But so that's kind of a flaw in my opinion. Um, but other than that, that's pretty much. I mean, that's my issue with it cosmetically. You can see I do have a controller plugged into the front here, and actually, I have here Hudson Soft made a controller for this system, and you can plug it in to a front port, but Nintendo didn't actually make anything for it. Um, as far as I know, I don't know if anything else goes in there, any accessories that Nintendo made, but I bought this Hudson Soft controller so I could go from the front of the system. And the Hudson Soft cord is actually really short as well. It might be, yeah, I think it's a tad longer than the hardwired controller wires. However, I also got a extension cable for it, so now I absolutely have no problem playing it very far away from the television. So that's how you kind of remedy that problem. This Hudson Soft controller was a bit expensive, as was the system, so that's another thing to keep in mind as well. As far as hooking it up to your TV, this is something that a lot of people have trouble with over here in America. Let's turn the system around here. Let's see here. So you have, the only way to hook this up, first of all, as the system comes, is RF adapter, which is there on the right, RF switch. You do not want to use the RF switch that comes with Famicom. In other words, the Japanese RF switch. It will not work on American televisions. Unless you have a Japanese television, it will not work. So you basically just use you can use an RF adapter that came with your original Nintendo or your Super Nintendo, and it will work just fine. But yeah, like the NES one or the same one works with the Super Nintendo. Go with that, and it will work. And then you see you got a switch for TV and game, and channel 1 and channel 2. Now, depending on, well, here's the thing though, you want to get, this is the hard part. I have a Sharp, and I actually got this at a rummage sale, and I lucked out getting an American TV that happens to work with the Famicom. Now, there's a trick to getting the Famicom working on American television, but the trick will not work if you just don't have a TV that works with it. Like, that's part one, and that's just kind of lucking out. Or if you have, you know, I'm sure people online have a list and of different TVs that work with the Famicom and try to get that model. That can be tricky. I don't know what to tell you. I kind of lucked out. But I have a Sharp, so maybe Sharps, older Sharps from the mid-90s perhaps would be your best bet. But on top, so once you get a TV that works, or one you think will work, to try to find out, it's got a switch for channel 1 and channel 2. Now, it's not the same channel 1 and channel 2 as the American channel 1 and channel 2. The signals are different, so you have to trick your television, and you have to either use channel 95 or 96. For me, with my Sharp, and this seems to be what a lot of people say, it's either going to work on channel 1 on the system, switch to channel 1 on the system, and channel 95 on your TV, which is what works for me. Or if you try channel 2 on the system, and then your TV has to be on channel 96. And then the other switch, have it switched to game, and it should be good to go. So basically try one or the other, and if it doesn't work, basically you have an American television that doesn't work with it. You can get Famicoms that are modded, where there'll be, people will put plugs in the back or cords coming out with 3 splitters of your basic AV hookups, the red, white, and yellow. Those are a little bit more pricey because somebody modded that, and I personally don't know how to do that, nor have I tried or looked it up at all. I think it's cool just to play it the way it was meant to be played, and it looks pretty decent on CRT television as it was meant to be played anyway. But yeah, so that's basically that. And as some of you may know, I'm doing an experiment over here trying to brighten up my Super Nintendo, and I got the top half, the light, off for that at the moment, to supply power to my Famicom. However, if you kind of look at this, you see it's slightly yellowing. It's not that bad, but I've certainly seen brighter, and I actually might try to brighten up my Famicom the same way I'm going with my Super Nintendo when I finish. And the cool thing about the Famicom is that there are no security screws. They're your basic Phillips. So I might actually give that a shot when I finish up with the SNES. Here's my little collection of Famicom games. I don't have that many, but these are all Japan exclusives. Tobutsu no Mori, Crisis Force, which is a very awesome shooter. It's a bit expensive, FYI. The rest of these were relatively cheap. Binary Land, Banana, Armadillo. Some of these I don't remember the name. They're written in Japanese. But the game I wanted to actually review is Devil World. This game is cool because this was the only game made by Shigeru Miyamoto that we did not have the pleasure of playing in North America. So this was actually the first game I wanted to get when I knew about that. So I'm going to pop it in here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of it. So this is Devil World, and let's just get right into it. Attack the Devil's World. So you're this little dinosaur guy, and basically there are dots you have to eat, collect. I'm not sure if he eats or collects them, but you cannot collect them until you pick up one of those crosses. You have to be careful because the screen moves all the time. It scrolls and you'll get stuck and get squished. But basically you collect the dots. But you can't collect them until you have a cross. And then you can shoot these fireballs, which you cannot do if you don't have a cross. And you can shoot those ghosts or devil's minions or whatever they are. And then, kind of similar to Pac-Man, how when you eat a ghost it goes back to the middle. Only when you shoot them with the fireball, they kind of float around the screen in a dot, and you can eat them and get more points that way. Ice cream floats around the screen and you can pick those up for more points. And that's basically it. And it's kind of interesting little graphic on either side of the screen. They're basically, these creatures are pulling on this crank which causes the screen to scroll, at least when it goes left and right. But yeah, it's a very weird game. Just as far as content, I mean, back then you wouldn't expect, I guess, this kind of imagery. This level's a little different. You have these, I assume they're Bibles, in all four corners of the screen, and you have to pick them up. And just like the previous level with the crosses, you cannot shoot your fireball without having one. And then you have to take them back to the middle of the screen in those little etched out areas in the red box with the skull on it. You get all four of them and you beat the level. This is the only variation I've seen so far, though I haven't played this game that much or even close to being all the way through. But there you go, that's the second level. It's actually, I mean, it's a pretty fun game. If you like Pac-Man, you'll love this. Bonus box, I've never seen this before. Okay, I assume I just have a time limit, yep, and I have to try to get as many of these as I can. And then you hit these arrows, and the screen will actually start scrolling in the direction you hit, it looks like. So that's kind of cool. Cool little bonus game. Oh, that was just round one. So now I have the cross. I can pick up the dots. And if you already have the cross and you go over one, I don't believe it refreshes the amount of time you have the one you already picked up. So keep that in mind. And you know, a lot of you probably looking at this and you're like, this is stupid. Or why wouldn't I just play Pac-Man? But, like I said, this is the only game we were unable to play that was made by Shigeru Miyamoto. And to be honest with you, well, no, Pac-Man came first. Yes. So he might have stole some elements of it, but he definitely made it his own. And I could have ate that ghost, but I lost him. So you get all this before I hit the side. Oh. need to get that blue devil off the screen by my stats. I'm not sure if that is anything has to do with the gameplay, or he just dances around for effect up there. And I got ice cream cone. Another ice cream cone. 800 points. Okay, I'm missing... Oh, there's one dot. Okay. So they get all the way over there. I think that's the last one. Oh! See, that's something that would never happen in Pac-Man. Oh, and I got squished. And come up from the bottom, it's going to be too late. Now it's going to... But if it goes through the top of the screen, it's going to come down from the bottom. It's just going to be on the opposite side. I think it's right there. Yep. And I don't know what the little orange... The orange bar on the left, right, or the bottom's for. If there are things I'm missing about this game and you know, please feel free to inform me in the comments. This looks like there are 2 red boxes. Maybe it just scrolled off the screen, actually. So yeah, can I get through there? There's a little gap. No, I can't get through there. See, I wanted to shoot him, but I just lost the Bible, so... And then obviously you got the little cross symbols. I'm kind of confused. If this is the devil's world, why would there be a cross there? I think there wouldn't be any crosses at all, or it would be inverted, right? I don't know. Yes! But now I can't go back up to get it. See, this is quite challenging. But you get the basic idea. I just wanted to show you, give you an idea, a little bit of the game. I cannot get back up there. It will not move up. It looks like if you wait too long to eat those ghosts, once you shoot them with the fireball, they will turn back. So it's not like you have a never-ending supply of time. I beat it somehow, I guess. I guess I just had to get to that arrow. Alright, bonus box. This is getting harder quickly, I will say. That's probably a good thing. Otherwise there would be no challenge. Wonder what happens if I get all of these. Now those still look like Bibles, but they have question marks on them. So I don't know if that's like, well, these might be Bibles, they might not be. I don't know. Oh, and I got squished. Well, that's it for me. That's game over. But I just wanted to give you an idea of this game. Like I say, if you enjoy Pac-Man, you'll really enjoy this game. And it adds a new element to it as well. There's no Japanese writing in this game that you have to worry about relying on to play the game correctly. It's a very simple game. It's hard to master with the element of the moving screen. So yeah, tell me what you think, and thanks for checking out my video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.